Welcome to the Dream Stream, a living dream journal. I'm Nicholas Sargent, dream journalist, DJ Dreamy. Sleep well, and welcome whatever you're ready to receive. In this stream of dreams, a pattern began to emerge, not just across one night, but across several. Moments of intensity, emotional spikes, subtle disruptions, and then something else. An attempt to steady it, to stay present inside it, to hold the field. Because what these dreams began to show is that it's not just about what happens in the dream, it's about what happens in you when things start to move, when emotions rise, when others enter the space, when attention slips, when power comes online. Can you stay centered? Can you respond instead of react? This episode is about learning to hold the field. We begin in a place most of us recognize, a moment where something small turns into something bigger. This dream begins in a restaurant, and something just feels off. I'm getting ready to leave, but there's this irritation already in me. I can't even fully place it. Maybe I dropped something, maybe something didn't go right, but whatever it is, it's enough, and I can feel it building. Now I'm dealing with it, picking things up, pieces scattered. And it's not just one thing. It's like everything I touch becomes one more inconvenience. And I can feel it. That edge where I'm not just annoyed anymore, I'm in it. We're heading out now, but it doesn't get better. There are kids everywhere, moving unpredictably, distracted, bumping into things, getting in the way of what I'm carrying. And I'm trying to adjust, trying to move around them, but it's like we're out of sync. Every step, another interruption, another delay, another thing to manage. There's a jacket, too, something left behind from another time. Now we've got to deal with that. Track it down, figure out whose it is, make sure it gets handled. And all of it is just piling up. At one point, I turn toward my former wife, and I snap at her, just reacting. And she responds, calmly, almost surprisingly calm. She says something like, "I just forgive you when you get like that." And there's something about that moment that registers, even through the anger. I remember thinking, I like this version of her, like she's changed somehow, upgraded. But I'm still in it, still irritated, still snapping at little things. Things keep going wrong. Things keep needing attention, and I can feel myself choosing. Do I snap out of this? Do I shift my state and start to feel better? Because I even have the thought, this is probably just attracting more of the same. But then there's this other part of me that wants to stay in it, that wants to be justified, to stay angry at the world. And I walk out, still carrying it. In that first dream, the field begins to destabilize from within. Emotion builds, friction compounds, and there's a choice point. Do I shift, or do I stay in it? But holding the field isn't just an internal practice, because the moment other people enter, the field becomes shared. And what we don't say can shape the entire space. This next dream takes place at a conference, and it unfolds in a series of moments, almost like snapshots of a shared space. There's a man up front presenting. It feels like a business setting. People gathered, listening, but the tone isn't fully serious. At one point, someone in the room makes a joke about him. Something about his belly, like a pouch. They ask him when he got it. And without missing a beat, he responds, "Oh, this is my second one. The first one I got back in 1967. There's a kind of ripple through the room, a mix of surprise and amusement, because he doesn't look that old. And yet, he says it so casually that it almost feels true. In another part of the dream, there's a different leader at the front. He has long hair, and he's trying to set the tone for the event. Trying to be engaging, trying to be relatable, trying to be a little hip. He's talking about business, about how you can't just start something and then walk away from it. He gives an example. "I started this course, and even now, 7 years later, I still have to turn it on each year for the people who began it 7 years ago." It's like he's trying to show commitment, but also trying to keep the room entertained. And then, almost playfully, he wraps his long hair around his face, like he's joking, trying to get a reaction. But right next to him, at the edge of a bed or a lounge, there's someone reclining, just casually laid back. And in a moment that feels almost accidental, they lift their foot and lightly kick him in the face. Not hard, not aggressive, just enough. The leader freezes for a moment. He tries to play it off, keeps his composure, but I can tell he is not okay with it. There's something under the surface, a flash of irritation, maybe even anger. And I find myself watching him closely, trying to figure out, is he actually upset, or is he just moving on? He starts speaking again, but now it's different. He begins telling a story, slowly, carefully, almost like he's choosing his words in real time. And then he lands on this line. "So, therefore, I really don't like it when anybody kicks me in the face." But he never looks at the person who did it. He doesn't address them directly, doesn't name it, doesn't resolve it. He just says it to the whole room. And the energy shifts, because now it's out there, but not really. Everyone heard it, but no one's responding. And I'm sitting there thinking, he probably just needed to talk to that person, not the whole room. But something about him makes me feel like he doesn't like confrontation. So instead, he lets it hang in the air. And the moment just lingers, unresolved. Like something entered the field, and no one quite knew how to hold it. Now the instability moves somewhere quieter. Not emotion, not conflict, but attention. The ability to hold a thought, to complete a signal, to stay with something long enough to bring it through. Because sometimes, losing the field doesn't look dramatic. Sometimes, it looks like something slipping away. This next dream doesn't happen just once. It repeats, in different forms, but always with the same feeling, like I'm trying to hold on to something, and I can't quite keep it. In one version, I'm in a house with my dad. There are other people around, and somewhere in the background there's a political speech playing, voices talking, something about a president, but I'm not really focused on that. I keep stepping into another room, trying to get some space. I've got my phone in my hand, and I'm trying to do something important, trying to write something down, capture something. But the phone won't cooperate. The interface feels off. My fingers don't quite land where I want them to. The words won't come together. It's like I know there's something I need to get out, something I'm trying to process, but I can't seem to make it happen. So I step away again, then come back, try again. But it keeps slipping. In another version, I'm with a friend. and I'm signing something for him, like an album cover. I've got a paintbrush in my hand, black paint, and I'm carefully writing out a message. But right next to us, there's a woman, and she keeps taking over the space. Every time he says something, she jumps in, adds her own story, starts talking about something else, something about Egyptian martial arts. And I'm trying to stay focused, trying to finish what I'm writing, trying not to smudge the one word I've already put down. But I can feel my attention slipping. The thought won't fully form. The message won't complete. And I'm stuck there, mid-sentence. And then there are these moments where I think I've woken up. I come out of the dream just enough to realize I need to record this. But before I can, I fall back into another dream. And then I surface again in that in-between space, half awake, half dreaming. I need to write this down. But I can't quite move, can't quite reach the phone, can't quite stay awake. And then I'm gone again. This happens more than once, like I'm circling the edge of waking, but never fully landing, never fully capturing it. And there's this feeling throughout all of it, that something important is there, close, accessible, but I can't quite hold the thread. But then something changes. The field doesn't just collapse, it wobbles. And in that wobble, there's an opportunity to recover, to adjust, to find center again. Not perfectly, but in motion. This next dream feels like a performance, but not just for the audience, for herself. There's a woman standing at the top of a diving platform, but this isn't a normal platform. It's tall, unsteady, almost like it's made of bamboo, thin, flexible, slightly swaying. She's high above the water, and everyone is watching. She steps forward, getting into position. And then, suddenly, she loses her balance. Her body tilts, her footing slips, and she falls right to the edge. Now she's hanging there. Her hands gripping, her body suspended. For a moment, it looks like she might drop. But then, with effort, she pulls herself back up. She stands again, back on the platform. And you can see it in her face. She knows how close that was. She looks out at the audience, almost communicating without words. I almost lost it. But she doesn't leave. She resets. Now, she's more careful, more aware. Every movement is intentional, measured. The platform still wobbles beneath her, but now she's accounting for it. She steps into position again. You can feel the focus, the recalibration, and then she dives. A clean entry. Now I'm in the water, walking through the pool, and something feels different. Everyone is naked. There's no hiding, no layers, no separation. And I notice myself, not really wanting to be around people. I'm still carrying something, maybe a mood, maybe the residue of everything. So I start looking for space, just a little distance, a place to stand on my own. And the feeling stays with me. That balance isn't just about the moment before the dive. It's about what happens after, when you're back in the water, still surrounded, still exposed, and still holding your center. And once the field begins to stabilize, something else can happen. Energy starts to move. Ability begins to show itself. But power doesn't arrive fully formed. It comes with uncertainty, with mess, with questions about control. This next dream is where something shifts. It's no longer just about holding the field. It's about what happens when something starts to move inside it. I'm in a room. It feels like the waking world, not dreamlike, not surreal, just normal. And I'm looking across the room at an object, something simple, a paintbrush, sitting in a container. And I have this thought, what if I try? Because there's this awareness that I've tried this before in waking life, and it doesn't work. But something about this moment feels different, so I focus. I concentrate on the brush, trying to move it. At first, nothing. Or maybe something. The bristles shift slightly, and I second guess it. Is that just me, or is that just the air? There's a vent above, it could be the airflow. So I stay with it. Focus again. And then it moves, clearly. Not just the bristles, the whole thing. The brush lifts out of the container and comes toward me and lands in my hand. And I feel it. That moment of, this is real. If I can do this, what else can I do? Now I start experimenting, moving things around the room, testing it, playing with it. And it's working. Not perfectly, but enough. Enough to know there's something here. At one point, I knock something over, a container, and it spills everywhere. Little alphabet letters all over the ground. And immediately, I feel it. Great. Now I've got to clean it up. I start picking them up by hand, one by one. But then I stop and think, wait, if I can move things, I can fix this. So I try. I focus on the letters, trying to gather them, pull them together. Some of them move, a few lift, a few slide, but not all. It's partial, incomplete. I manage to get one into the container, maybe a couple more, but the rest are still scattered. And I can feel both things at once. The excitement of what's possible and the frustration of not fully being able to control it. And then I have this thought. I should show someone. Like I want to demonstrate it, prove it. And there's even this faint memory, like maybe I've done this before, shown people in the waking world. Or maybe, just in dreams. And what stands out here isn't just the ability. It's the relationship to it. The excitement, the doubt, the mess, the attempt to clean it up, all happening in the same space. Learning, not just how to access power, but how to hold it. And then the question deepens, because it's one thing to hold the field for yourself. It's another to hold it with someone else, to know when to help and when to step back, to feel the difference between support and overreach. This next dream moves us out of the room and into relationship, out into the world. I'm walking along a trail. There are other people with me. It feels like we're heading somewhere together, moving up a path. And I'm with my daughter. She's walking too, but there's a sense that it's harder for her, like there's some kind of limitation, something that makes the climb more difficult. And I have the ability, that same ability, so I decide to use it. I focus and lift her. She rises just lightly off the ground, a few feet up, and I guide her forward along the path, smoothly, effortlessly, like I'm helping her move without the strain. And there's also this feeling that I'm aware of someone else watching, and maybe I want them to see it, see what I can do. But I'm also helping. That part feels real too. At one point, I bump into someone, a man on the path, and I hug him. thank you. Like I'm thanking him for something, for giving me space, for supporting me during a difficult time. Something that mattered. Then I turn back to my daughter. I offer again to lift her, to help. But this time she says no. She wants to walk, on her own. And I let her. Then I turn to my partner, and I lift her too, guide her forward, just like before. But this time, something's different. As we reach the bottom of the hill, there's a cliff, and I carry her a little too far, past the edge. She's suspended just beyond where she should be, and I can feel it, that moment of, maybe I went too far. Maybe I didn't account for everything. So I bring her back, guide her safely to the ledge, let her land, back on solid ground. And I wonder if she's going to say something, if she's going to scold me, or question what I just did. But the moment just holds, unresolved. And what stands out here is the balance between helping and overreaching, between offering support and allowing autonomy, between being seen and simply being present. Because even with the ability, there's still something to learn about timing, about trust, about how far is too far. And in between these moments, there were other dreams too. Shorter flashes, vivid scenes, ideas that felt like entire movies, compressed into a moment. So before we come to the final dream, let's step briefly into a montage. A few glimpses from the wider stream. Absurd summer camp party. A surreal weekend gathering unfolds as an elaborate multi-part experience designed entirely around me, complete with hidden organizers, shifting scenes, and a final reveal that the entire summer camp was intentionally orchestrated, suggesting that even the most chaotic or random experiences may be more coordinated than they first appear. Space hijack and the high-strung woman. A man attempting to hijack cargo in space is calmly confronted by an authority figure who reveals a record of his past violations. While on the ground, human relationships echo the same tension between control, attraction, and restraint, revealing that whether in space or everyday life, imbalance eventually exposes itself. Back at Medicaid, returning to a familiar workplace with a mix of new and old leadership, I navigate enthusiasm, hesitation, and unspoken dynamics, offering guidance while carefully managing what to say and what to hold back, revealing how awareness of the social field can shape not just what we do, but how we show up within it. Siding with and alliances. In a series of shifting relationships, people choose partners and loyalties based on approval, advantage, and perceived stability, revealing how easily alignment can be influenced by comfort or gain, and how every alliance quietly reflects what we value most. Speaking Russian with a horse. While practicing Russian commands with a horse, I realize I'm struggling to keep pace as the horse responds with its own understanding, reminding me that true communication isn't just about learning the language, but about matching the rhythm and readiness of the one I'm trying to reach. Each one, a fragment, a glimpse, a different angle on the same question. How do we move through a world that's constantly shifting without losing our center? And after all of that, the emotion, the instability, the effort to stabilize, the emergence of power, the complexity of relationship, we arrive somewhere quieter. A different kind of test. Not about doing more, but about knowing when not to act. This final dream happens at night. It's quiet, still, and I'm inside a house I recognize. I'm in the back room, looking out the window, And across the way, I can see into the neighbor's house through their window. And something catches my eye. A glow. Red. Flickering. I lean in closer, trying to see more clearly, and I start to wonder, is that a fire? I focus. Look again, and it really does seem like it. So I turn away from the window and head into the kitchen. I go to the phone, and my first thought is, I should call them, the neighbors. So I start trying to find their number, looking for it, but I can't. It's not there. I don't have it. So then I realize I should just call 911. That's what you do. So I dial. And as I'm waiting to connect, I start thinking, how do I explain this? It's the house next door to the one I know the address of, trying to piece it together. And then something shifts. I realize I'm not actually there. I'm not at that house. I'm in Mississippi. And now I'm wondering, what if there really is a fire at that house? The one my parents live in, right now. And for a moment, I consider it. Should I call them? Wake them up? Make sure everything's okay? But then another thought comes in. That would probably just wake everyone up for no good reason. So I hold it. I don't act. I just stay with the question. Still curious, still aware, but not reacting. And the moment lingers there, between action and restraint, between concern and trust. Because sometimes holding the field doesn't mean doing more. It means knowing when not to act. Across these dreams, there's a progression. From losing the field, to noticing it, to recovering it, to holding it. Not perfectly, but more consciously. Because holding the field isn't about controlling everything. It's about staying present when things are uncertain, when emotions rise, when others move unpredictably, when energy builds, and when something inside you says, act now, but something deeper says, wait. Maybe that's the practice, not just in dreams, but in waking life, to feel it all without being pulled out of center, to respond instead of react, to hold the field. Sleep well, and welcome whatever you're ready to receive.